What's up, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Rich Talks BS. A lot of stuff's been going on in sports over the last week, especially with opening day in the major leagues. First week down, teams are looking good, teams not looking so well, but I mean it's just the beginning of the season, so still got a lot to build up for. You got your regular teams. Dodgers looking good, Astros looking good. Um, Twins are looking good this year. Red Sox are looking better this year, with them losing the first three games and then winning the next seven. And they've been on a roll, with Devers hitting, JD Martinez hitting. They're just getting it together. They're looking a lot better than they did last year. The Dodgers still look like the Dodgers. Angels are looking better this year. Otani's having a good season, or was having a good season until he got hurt. Tatis was having a good season until he got hurt. He's not going to be out long, and you know, just just a lot going on in baseball, and just excited. Ready to see more, see what teams have. Especially with what was all going on in the off season with trades and free agent signings. And then earlier tonight we had a crazy game in Cleveland with Cleveland and the Chicago White Sox. Um, White Sox pitcher Carlos Rodon would almost pitched a perfect game. Through 9 innings, the first out was even crazy. Abreu having to stretch out and beat the runner at first, which he actually did, and that was a great out. It just came down to the second hitter with Roberto Perez getting um, hit him with the pitch, so that caused the game to not be a perfect game. But he still ended up throwing a no hitter. And for this type of pitcher to pitch a no hitter, not playing many games in the last 2 seasons. He's already had Tommy John surgery. He's had shoulder problems, and then to come out, out of nowhere, not even, even coming to almost deciding or just trying to come up with a decision if he's even, going to play at the major league level, at the professional level. And he got his start. He showed off. He showed out. He showed what he could do, and just waiting to see what else he can do later on in the season. So like I said, baseball is exciting. It's getting exciting. Can't wait to see more. Got a lot of other stuff going on in sports too. Of course, the draft in the NFL talks about that every day. With which quarterback is going to go where. We all know where Trevor Lawrence is going. We pretty much have an idea of Zach Wilson going number two. And it's just from number three on down, who is San Fran going to pick up? Are they going to go with Mac Jones or, Justin Fields, Trey Lance? And if they do, then what are they going to do with Garoppolo? You know, so it's kind of like with Garoppolo being out there and the 49ers drafting a quarterback as a third pick, you have to do something with him. And that's where I think, the Patriots are going to move, you know, try to make a move and trade for Garoppolo, or they could try to make a move up the draft board to get Justin Fields. Um, the Patriots signed Cam for one more year. He's not going to be there after that year. He's just kind of like a fill in, trying to see where they're going to go in their quarterback situation is what I think, and just wait to see what's going to happen with that. Justin Fields had his second pro day today, and was looking good. His throwing drills. The teams that were there that wanted to see him on the second day was the 49ers, Patriots, Falcons, Jets, Panthers, and Broncos. And again, like I said, Justin Fields, he may go to San Fran, or do the Patriots move up to try to draft Justin Fields? He was there, they were there. You got Josh McDaniels, who's good. With quarterbacks, he's good with the pocket quarterbacks. So that kind of makes you think, are they gonna actually try to go after Justin Fields, who's arguably the second best quarterback in this draft class, or do they actually go after Mac Jones, who has shown that he is good in the pocket and has that pocket presence, which kind of kind of reflects a little bit of Tom Brady. Like I said, Josh McDaniels has success with pocket quarterbacks. Of course, he had Tom Brady, and Belichick being the genius he is, trying to see where he's going to go with that. Um, Giovanni Bernard signed with the Bucs. That's a great pickup for them because they had, I think, the most drop passes by a running back, and Bernard is in the top 10 in receiving running backs. So to add Bernard to that offense that's already explosive, that's gonna just make the backfield better. That's gonna make his options more open up more, and they're getting OJ Howard back, so that's gonna just be a wide range of selections of who he could pass to because somebody's gonna be open. You can't double each weapon. With Mike Evans, you know, he's you can't double him and leave OJ Howard open, or you can't double on OJ and leave him open. And then you got Bernard coming out of the backfield too, if he's not, handed the ball. So that's a good look for the Bucs. And with them signing, the 22 starters and specialties, that's just making them have a bigger target on their back also this year. So to see how that's going to work out. Jadeveon Clowney signed with the Browns. He has a 1 year deal up to 10 mil. That's pretty exciting because he's gonna play alongside Myles Garrett. He's excited for that, and that's gonna make that defense even better. They had a couple of pickups too in the offseason. The defense was already pretty good. I've said this before. Myles Garrett, he needs that. He needs that veteran presence. He needs that leader presence there with him. Um, he kind of fell below the line of stepping up and being that leader when they needed him to be. We saw that in the playoffs. Having Jadeveon Clowney is going to make that even better. He doesn't have to have that much pressure on him. A little bit less weight on his shoulders. Let the veteran come in, lead this defense, and the defense is going to be great this year. They're going to look good, and it's going to be a good year for the Browns defense. Um, the NBA has been crazy so as of late, especially because there's a playoff push and a single game elimination playing tournament, and teams are starting to push and push and push, and they you want to get that 6 seed because if you're in that 7 seed, then you're gonna fall into that playing game. So the 7 to the 10, they gotta play the one game playing game and then move on into the playoffs. Um, there's some good teams out there that's stuck in between that 7 and 10 and could be dangerous playing, a higher seed in the first round, and the Warriors being one of them. It's kind of scary to play the Warriors as a 1 or 2, and they win the playing game and come into the playoffs, already kind of hot or kind of in a rhythm, especially with Steph. Steph's gonna do Steph things. You know, he he's Chef Curry. He's gonna cook it up. He's gonna do what he needs to do to put his team in a position to win and to keep trying to advance. They're not really gonna go far. I don't think they're gonna go far, but he's gonna give whoever, whatever team they play in the playing game, he's gonna win that game. I'm gonna give them that. It kind of doesn't matter who they play, but it's just who they play in the playoffs. Best of seven. Not seeing them going past five if they don't get swept. Kind of depends on who they play. Also, if they play the Jazz, I'm gonna call a sweep for that one. Or if they play the Suns, they might go to five, but kind of looks like there'll be a sweep in that also. But the NBA is looking good. You got the defense player of the years coming up. You got the top five in that. They've been playing really well. You got number one, like your top five for defense player of the year. You got Rudy Gobert from the Jazz, Ben Simmons from the 76ers, Miles Turner from the Pacers, who's also leading the NBA in blocks with 159 blocks, and leading the NBA in 3.5 blocks per game, which the way he's been playing on this Pacers team that's not doing that well. He's having good games. He's having great defensive games, and he's helping the Pacers be, in a position where they're at now. At number four, you got Bam Adebayo for the Heat, and then you got Giannis, rounding out that top five. Of course, Giannis, last reigning MVP, reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Just kind of been slacking a little bit, sliding back a little bit, but you're gonna see him push more coming up in the next couple of weeks. You're gonna see him push more and climb up that leaderboard in the Defense Player of the Year. He's also gonna climb up the leaderboard in the MVP race too, because he's sitting at number four in that list. But to round up your top five for MVP, you got Jokic from the Nuggets. He's averaging 26.3 points a game, 10.9 rebounds a game, and 8.7 assists a game. Almost averaging a triple double. Number two, you got Damian Lillard. You got Dame averaging 29.2 points a game, 4.3 rebounds a game, and 7.7 assists a game. Number three, you got Joel Embiid averaging 29.9 points a game, 11.2 rebounds per game, and 3.2 assists a game. Giannis is at 28.8 points a game, 11.4 rebounds a game, 6.2 assists a game, and 1.3 blocks per game. And then you got James Harden, who's almost averaging a triple double, also, with 25.2 points a game, 8 rebounds a game, and almost 11 assists a game. Who he's leading the league in assists also. And it's those top five there are playoff teams and trying to make that playoff run for their teams, and those are great leaders for those teams to do that. Especially Jokic. Joker's been playing good. They actually just lost Jamal Murray towards ACL in his left knee, so it's gonna be kind of hard to fill that position. They should be okay though. It's just gonna be a harder run in the playoffs for them without Murray being on the court. You got the power rankings came out for the NBA also. Your top five were the Suns, Jazz, Nets, Nuggets, and Clippers. Actually, round out the top 10, you got the 76ers, Bucks, Mavs, Heat, and Lakers. And just those top five teams, the top six teams in general, are looking better week after week, game after game, and they're starting to look more like competitors for a championship. You know, LA has their issues. We know LeBron, we know AD, both of them are out. Having them healthy and coming back and possibly playing the playing game, that it's not going to matter, because when they come back and they come back 100% healthy, it's just going to be even harder to beat the Lakers, because they're going to be in that mindset and that mind frame that I've been out this long. Now it's time to get in, step up, shut up, and put everybody out. And it's going to be scary, and it's going to be hard to beat the Lakers in the postseason when you have both of them healthy and in that mindset. The Suns and the Jazz, that's going to be a great match. Um, I hope to see them right before the Western Conference Finals, if not in the Western Conference Finals, if one of them can get past LA. It is that them two have just been going back and forth, back and forth. The Suns actually beat the Jazz a few nights ago in a great game. Um, Booker's been playing great. Chris Paul's been playing great, and this team is just coming together. They're a defensive team finally. After being this running gun, fast, kind of trying to be a fast-paced offensive team and play no defense. Now they're playing defense, and they have a great offense, of course, but playing defense now, and they're a great defense. Like, they're in the top 10 in defense, and they're starting to just put their head down and keep pushing forward and keep running forward. And I think the Suns are going to be a harder team to beat in the West behind LA if LeBron and AD come back healthy. If you can't have both of them back healthy, it's going to be hard for the Lakers to make that playoff push in the West, especially with the Suns and Jazz. They'll have a hard time with the Jazz, but have a harder time with the Suns. And I think that's the team that could beat the Lakers if both are not healthy. Um, like I said, it's exciting right now in the NBA. You know, the playoff push. Everybody's trying to get the seeds. Everybody's trying to get home court and play in front of the fans who can come out to those courts. Well, that's all the BS I have for this episode. Until next time.